So Andre, do we have to dress you differently now that you're a big movie star? Do you want to be treated a little bit?
Yes, things are gonna have to change around here. I'm gonna demand a little more respect. I'm just kidding. No, no. I'll always be the same street urchin.
Well, talk about how the project came together. I mean, you did this movie recently.
Yeah. So when you get to hang out with Uriah Faber, you get to do all kinds of cool stuff. That guy's got his hand in everything. So one of the companies that he has started, he's producing movies, and he has a production company, and there's this really cool movie that was being filmed called Green Fever. It'll be on Netflix, I believe, in next year. And they had a spot. The movie is about a home invasion that takes place on a weed farm. And so he said, "Oh yeah, I got a role for a sketchy weed trimming cousin." And I said, "Say no more. That's me. I was born for that role." I grew up in Northern California, so like I'm very familiar with sketchy cousins who trim weed for a living. Like yeah, I had to do no homework for the role. Like I was like, oh, I was reading the script, like, oh, I know these people. Like I grew up around them. This sounds like high school reunion for me. Like, so it was, yeah, it was a really fun experience. I got to play a character that was fun to play, and in a movie that was actually done really well. You know, you see a lot of fighters that are in movies, and you know, you've all seen it in like, it's like the B-rate action movie where the fighter jumps in, he throws a spinning back kick, he gets shot off screen, and he falls. That's it, you know. This was a movie that was really character driven. It had a really strong narrative. I have like between like 5 and 7 real like talking scenes where I got to actually be a character, you know, and my character actually was important to the narrative. And so it was like a real acting job, you know, which is what I was looking for. I really enjoy acting. I really enjoy being creative in different outlets. So it was such a rad experience, and I'm looking to do it again. I got to work with a really cool production team, and they kind of do a lot of in-house stuff. So they're going to be doing a bunch of other films together. So as long as they have a sketchy cousin part in their movie, I'll be there to fill it.
I was saying, you want to be any kind of sketchy weed trimming cousins.
The thing is, the thing about having throat tattoos is you get kind of typecast. Like I'm never gonna get to play like young dad, like at the PTA meeting. You know what I'm saying? But I could be like the sketchy cousin, or like I could be the guy who like robs the young dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think there'll always be a spot for me, but maybe typecast a little bit. We'll see. Nice.
Yeah. Let's talk about your fighting career, man. Obviously, you know, you've been in the UFC for a long time now. You're a veteran, and you've struggled to get consistent results. You got great moments,
yeah,
and then letdowns. So, give an idea, kind of what the focus is and the thought process for where you are in your career right now.
I feel great. Everything's coming together. I feel like I'm really at the peak. I'm the best I've ever been right now, and there's definitely been ups and downs. But the thing that I've really started focusing on, especially I perfected maybe this past year, is just focusing on what I can actually control. You know, like people ask you questions about like your last fights or where you see yourself, or your opponent's last fights, or how he's performing. I don't give a shit about any of that. Like the only thing I can control is my preparation and my performance. Like I can control myself, you know, like that's hard enough. Like making sure that you do everything right. Fuck all the distractions. Like I'm only here to make sure that I do everything that I can do to be the best fighter I can be. So I'm just zoned in, man. I'm laser sharp. Like I'm so focused, and it's just because all I care about is my preparation and my performance, you know. I've had ups and downs, but you know, that's the sport. That's life. That's like, how many of us have been in a situation where like, damn, my career is not going the way I want it, you know? It just so happens that in fighting, if your career's not going the way you want it, it's public, and you're getting kicked in the head and shit, you know? So like, it's different than other jobs in that respect, but it's the same as anything else where you're gonna have peaks and valleys, you know? And it's not about, a big part of life I've realized is not like whether you have peaks and valleys, it's like how low you get or how high you let yourself get. It's like, you can win the biggest fight of your life, you can't celebrate too much. You can lose the biggest fight of your life, you can't have too much self-pity, man. You got to just roll with the punches, you know? Water off a duck's back, you got to shake it off.
Interesting, because you say you don't really worry too much about the other guy anymore, but I wonder what you think about Michael Johnson, because a dangerous guy, but kind of similar, right? Where he's come up short in some spots. So, I mean, did you watch tape? Did you break him down? I mean, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I did the same thing with him that I do with most of my opponents. You know, I watch a little bit of tape. Like I'm familiar. I'm a student of the game. Like I've been training since I was 14. You know, like I've been in the game over a decade. So I've seen Michael Johnson fight a bunch. I know what he's good at, you know. But I obviously watched a little bit of tape, and then I mostly leave that. I don't study too much. I watch a little bit of tape to kind of remind myself what he's good at. And then I let my cornerman watch tape and tell me what I need to do. I trust my coaches. You know, those dudes saved my life, so I trust them with my life, man. They tell me to do something, I do it. You know. So I let my coaches worry about really dissecting tape. For me, I already know what he's good at, and I know that if I focus on what I need to do, like I can beat anyone in the world. Like I'm the best 145-pound fighter in the world. Like I've already fought the current champ. Like if you go back and watch that fight, you'll see how close it was. You know, like I train with Chad Mendez, Darren Elkins, Rick Glenn, Josh Emmett. Like, well, you know, I train with fucking 5 of the top 15 guys in the world. Like I fought the world champion. Like I'm the best 45er in the world. Like I know that. Like I've got the rounds to prove it. So. I don't worry about too much of what he's bringing. I know he's dangerous. Like I know he's dangerous. He's beaten guys like Dustin Poirier. That speaks for itself. So I know what he's going to try to do. I know he's fast. I know he's athletic. I know he's aggressive in the first. Like he's a bad motherfucker, but I'm badder. Like I'm the baddest motherfucker. So.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, do you feel like this is kind of a breakout opportunity? I mean, we've been following your career for a long time, and you were kind of that young kid, that next generation. Now you've been here. You know what I mean? Do you feel like now it's time to deliver?
Yeah, I think it is. I think every fight you have is the most important fight of your life, and this isn't any different. But this is a big one, and I'm just ready to perform. I've been ready, and I'm excited to show you guys.